Let's do this. Okay. Ready?
Okie dokie, yeah.
In 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everyone? You're listening to the Brazos Sports Preps Cast. I'm Alex Miller with Abigail Ochoa. Abigail, we just got done picking our All Brazos Valley baseball and softball teams, which means the sports year is over at the high school level.
Isn't
Yeah.
that sad? It was a good year for every sport. So
Yeah, lots of deep runs across the board in a bunch of different sports at all levels, too. I mean, seriously, here in Bryan College Station, public and private schools, and even around the area especially.
Oh, yeah. The lower classes really killed it this season for sure, if we just kind of look at the volume of it. But, yeah, it was great.
Yeah, so just taking a few minutes to look back at the year we had and a bit of farewell as well. So, Abigail, let's jump into it.
Yeah.
What were some of the highlights of the sports calendar in the Brazos Valley this season?
Oh, man. Well, so many people went so far. I mean, if we're talking about football, are we going there first?
We can start with football.
Okay,
I mean,
let's go with
because
football
we
first.
cover football extensively. We
Yeah,
cover all sports, but we really cover football extensively.
Yeah, that season is definitely hard on everybody. We're just always busy all the time. There's no time off in there. Yeah, okay, so football, I would say, I think we're going to talk about what favorite game. So let's get into that. I guess, or...
Best game that you saw.
Game, okay. This one's hard because so many good things happened during this football season, and I felt like I witnessed so many good games. But the one that I keep coming back to, we're taking out the state title games obviously because those are pretty
Right.
pretty high up there, high level football kind of being played there. But the one that I keep coming back to is the Consolidated Montgomery game. That one it kept getting crazier as the night went on. Brody got hurt kind of out of nowhere. That kind of happened, and then you get Tyndall McNamara coming in at quarterback, running a wildcat, and for the rest of the night and coming back and winning it. I mean, Gonzalez was down at halftime when Brody went down. It just felt like as the night went on, the game got crazier. And then for Consol to win it, it was kind of just like what is going on here? It's like high school football, the best of it. So that's the one that I keep coming back to, I think.
Yeah, the Consol season in general was just very much a roller coaster. High highs, some low lows, a third round playoff appearance.
Yeah.
Made a run at the end. Almost came back and knocked off Crosby.
Yeah. Even that Rudder game, we were both at that one. I mean, just to see the two kind of rivals, I guess, kind of come together locally. I mean, that parking lot was crazy. That game was not what we expected, but it was still kind of really cool to see them kind of come together. It was just a lot. Consol had a really good season, I think. Yeah,
and then, we've got to acknowledge just the state championship game runs between Franklin, who won, and College Station, who lost by that much.
Oh, that's such a good game, right?
Oh, my gosh.
We were on the edge of our seats on that one. I mean, not our seats. We were standing, but...
Our friends at Dave Campbell's, they ranked all the games that were played at the state championships, and they ranked College Station Peyto the best game of the weekend, which I think lives up to that billing.
I think so, too. I think Franklin... It was a good game, but it was so much about redemption for Franklin, I think, that, I think everybody was just excited for it to happen. As the game winded down, we knew it was going to be Franklin. But yeah, that College Station game was so good. We were on the edge of our seats. We really didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, it could have gone either way. Mm-hmm. That call kind of made the difference there. But yeah, that was... definitely deserved that number one spot for them.
And not to mention the two games that led up to that were with the game they beat Denton Ryan there in the region final at McLean Stadium, and then the game against Mansfield Summit was also a really good game as well.
To come back and win that. I mean, nobody saw. I think going into that game, you thought, okay, College Station's a favorite. They're going to win pretty easily, maybe. Might give them some trouble, but it'll probably happen. Mansfield Summit, that's their first time being there. I mean, it was a really good game. I think it was like, 28-21 or something like that. It was like, the atmosphere after that game was pretty fun to watch, like all the players and their families. And, College Station's such like a tight-knit place. Mm-hmm. So that was such a cool thing to witness after the game, too. So.
One more game that comes to my mind: Rudder when they beat Huntsville to open district play. I mean, what a crazy game, a crazy ending.
Yeah.
Went to overtime. Mm-hmm. That game was bonkers, and really it really helped set the tone for Rudder the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. in the way that they were able to finally break through and get to the playoffs for the first time in school history. Very, very talented team as well. And they're going to have some good pieces back this next year. So
that's for sure.
Looking at non-football sports, what were some of the games, some of the teams that really, impressed you this season, as the year went on?
Like I said, there were so many like lower classes that I think really, really shined this year. Mumford specifically for me was really fun to watch. Basketball and baseball. Mm-hmm. Baseball recently, obviously that's at the top of my mind.
Right.
But basketball too, I think to see them go to state, that semifinal game, personally, I think they should have won that one. I think that was a really, really good game against a really good opponent, but they had a shot there. But yeah, them this year really impressed me, I think. Just the kids, the amount of experience that they had coming in, and what they were able to do before making it to state, but also making it at state. So they're probably my favorite two teams from this year. They're just really, really fun to watch. It's always a pleasure to talk to those coaches too, because I think they feel it as much as the kids. And then non-football game, I would say that Bryan baseball game that I was at for ever. That was like, God, I don't even know how long I was there that day, but man, that was crazy. They won 1-0 against Belton.
Yeah.
And that had like 2 lightning delays, and then they were waiting on something else, and it was just took forever. And all they were waiting for was 1 out the whole time.
Right.
They just needed 1 out.
Right.
And we were there for at least another hour and a half. I remember talking to Coach Diller that night, and he was like, I'm so sorry. Like, you just can't help it. I mean, the Belton kids went in their bus. The Bryan kids went in the locker room. I mean, yeah, that was a crazy night for sure. I don't think it's ever happened, but it's Texas,
Yeah, spring weather in Texas, you never know. You never know. One game that was played indoors, though, that was absolutely bonkers was the College Station versus A&M Consolidated girls basketball game at Tiger Gym. I mean, you could not find a seat in that place. It was an electric atmosphere. Not only that, just an incredible game.
Yes.
Sarah Hathorn was one of the best players that we had all season. She made like 7 threes. Gary Blair's watching on the front row of the stands. And it comes down to the wire, and College Station finds a way to come back and win. And, that was when Puff Collins was starting to come back and really get into her groove. And, from that point on, College Station, they just took off and were absolutely tremendous getting all the way to the state tournament.
Sure.
I mean, ran into a really good Cedar Park team, which,
so good.
Such a very talented team. No shame in losing to them, but
they won. They ended up winning the title.
Right.
College Station, they're gonna get through a year where they break through of that semifinal round. But the last few years that they've gone there, they've lost to some really good people. So they should not be ashamed of that at all, because it was a really good team. Not to mention, in that day, the boys played right after, right?
Yeah,
Which I love, that double header kind of Consol versus College Station, because they did that earlier in the year. I love that. I think they should keep doing that, because it just brings out so many people. Yeah, the boys' game, not quite as close, but still very entertaining. Yeah. So, well, yeah. So,
we can't ignore the elephant in the room though, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, but Abigail, you're gonna be leaving us,
I
and
will.
we're excited for you, but we're sad
you.
to see you go. Can you just tell our listeners where you're headed next?
Yeah, well, I'm really sad. I think this is my last official week here.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday's my last day, so yeah, it's really hard to leave this place. I'll be going to Bristol, Connecticut, to work at ESPN, in their production side of things. So yeah, that's a big move for me. I've never lived outside of Texas. Texas is the best. I still say that. But yeah, it's been really fun. Brazos Valley is really, really fun to cover. I'll miss that for sure. And the coaches and the players and everything. So yeah, it'll be hard.
Yeah, you've been here, what, almost 3 years now?
Almost 3 years, yeah. I got hired 2 months after I graduated, so.
Yeah. So looking back, what's been, I know we just looked at this last year.
Yeah.
What's been maybe one of your favorite stories that you've written, and just kind of maybe a couple of your favorite moments? Maybe you've already mentioned a couple of them.
Yeah, for sure. I think seeing Franklin, if we're talking just about moments right now, I think Franklin winning state was really exciting for me, considering I was there the year before when they got so close to it. Seeing them kind of relive that moment, and this time it being, them winning the title, I think was really, really fun to see for me. So it was kind of a full circle moment there. College Station, that football team was just so good this year. So they were always fun to watch, and I think I realized that they were sophomores whenever I got here, and so seeing them as seniors now was just wow, we've been here for a while. So that was cool. Some of my favorite stories, a lot of them are my feature stories that I do. I love to do those, just because you get more of an in-depth look at people. I did one on Ziggy Richards, who sadly passed away. She played for the Redder girls basketball team. That was really fulfilling to do. Let's see, Kyle Walsh.
Yeah, great story.
I love that family. They're just really good people, and it was